How's the real estate market affecting your investment?
Real estate is not a commodity.
Don't join the crazy parade.
Welcome to Market Talk with your host, Brian Roth, discussing today's real estate news, tips, and trends.
If I asked you to rate yourself as a negotiator on a scale from 1 to 10, with 1 being the worst, 10 being the best, where would you land? How would you rate yourself? If you rate yourself low, the good news is this is a learned trait, and so you can improve your negotiating skills. As a real estate agent, this is one of the top traits you should be focusing on to improve, because at every step of the way, we're negotiating for our clients, and we're negotiating when we get offers, we're negotiating when we put in offers, we're negotiating when a home inspection comes in, we negotiate closing costs, on and on and on. We negotiate for our clients. Even beyond real estate, when you develop your negotiating skills, what you're going to find is that it just starts to come natural to you, and you'll start to benefit from it in other areas of your life. In this episode, I want to share 5 tips that are going to make you a better negotiator. So tip number 1 is to be prepared. Very simple. Be prepared. That may mean that you need to do some training. You need to do some research. You should have a plan. Look, if you're a new real estate agent and you're just not sure what you should be doing, you should be spending your time on training and learning. If your company has an online learning platform, I would go through as much of the information as you possibly can. Just be prepared. Know your product. Know those contracts, especially know the contracts. You should be able to flip that contract around to your client and explain it to them without actually having to read it. You should know it that well. Number 2, don't be afraid to ask for what you want. There's a scripture in the Bible that says you have not because you ask not. Don't be afraid to ask for what you want. You already don't have it. So all they can say is no. But they might say yes, or they may open up a door to negotiate something else or something closer to what you want. For instance, I received a bill recently from my internet service provider, and my bill had doubled. When I signed up with them, I knew I was in a 2-year promotional period. And they said that after the 2 years, I would be charged the regular rate, whatever it was at the time. And so I wasn't terribly surprised by the fact that it was doubled. But I didn't want to pay. I didn't want to pay double for my internet. So I called them up and spoke to a customer service rep, and, they were very polite, very nice. And we started talking about this, and I told them, I'm happy with the service. I don't want to change. Y'all have been great. I just don't want to pay what you're charging me. I want to pay what I've been paying. And so she brought up a few different plans, and one of them was I would have a reduced speed, but it would be a lower price. And another one was, I can have the same, but I have a 2-year contract. And I just told her, I said, I'm not interested in any of those. I just want the same price that I had. And guess what? She agreed to it. She had the authority to change me back to the exact same charges that I was getting before, without any contract and without any stipulations attached to it. I got what I wanted because I asked for it. Number 3, and this is so important, be respectful to the other party. If you want to stonewall a negotiation, be disrespectful, be condescending, be arrogant. That's how you'll stonewall a negotiation, and there won't be a negotiation. Now you're in an argument. Now you're in a dispute, and that's not what you want to be in. You should be polite. You should be pleasant. Treat people with dignity and respect. Treat people the way you want to be treated. No matter who it is, what's the situation, you're not going to get anywhere unless you're respectful to people and you're polite. Number 4, only talk as much as you need to. One of the shrewdest negotiation strategies is to harness the power of silence. In real life, silence can throw people off their game. and affect their decision making. If you maintain eye contact but don't speak, and your counterpart might start rambling and make concessions they wouldn't have made otherwise. An effective negotiator will seize on these moments, perhaps make a counteroffer that enhances the bottom line. Here's a good example, and you should try this if you have children. When they come and they ask you for something and they know they're not supposed to ask it, maybe they've asked before, just say no and let that be it. Let silence linger. So they come ask you for something, you just look at them dead in the face and you say no. What you're doing when you allow silence to linger like that and just saying no is you're not giving room for an argument. You're not saying no and giving them a reason why, because when you give them that reason why, now you're opening the door for a counter offer or a counter argument. Just stick to your guns, say no, and watch and see if they just don't turn around and walk away, because there's nothing to argue with. And finally, are you ready for this? Are you ready for the final one? Number 5. This may come as a surprise to you, but you want to make your goal to establish a win-win agreement. Now, that may sound crazy to you in negotiation. You may think, well, I need to win. That's not the goal of negotiation. And it's going to be really difficult to get someone to agree to accepting something where it's a win for you and a lose for them. Why would someone agree to that? So your negotiation, you want to try to find a win-win. Win for you, win for them. Deal makers who have a win-lose mindset, they tend to alienate partners and kill the chance of repeat business. But deal makers who push for win-win outcomes, where both sides get something they want, can open a lot of doors down the road. This also goes back to treating everybody with dignity and respect. Negotiation is a process of give and take, resulting in a compromise where each side makes a concession for the benefit of everyone involved. Learn to be a good negotiator and support your clients, but not only that, it'll help to improve the quality of your life as well. Thanks for joining me for another episode of Market Talk Weekly. If you haven't done so already, I want to invite you to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss another episode of Market Talk Weekly. And also, you can check out my website at www.markettalkweekly.com. Again, www.markettalkweekly.com. Once you get there, there's a learning center that you can go to. There's some free classes. I also have all the documents that you can download for free that I talk about on this show. All you have to do is sign up for a free account so that you can log in, and you'll have access to those and the free classes as well.